Chelsea V.
And this is Madeline Hemmer, and you're watching Fox 12 News.
First and foremost, 12 kittens were saved from a manhole.
In other news, the sequester has just taken effect.
If you don't know what the sequester is, it is a general cut in government spending and will have a long-term effect.
Many of the programs that are affected are Medicare,
Public housing,
emergency shelter programs,
emergency unemployment compensation,
special education programs,
low-income home energy assistance program,
Meals on Wheels,
and refugee assistance.
also disaster relief. Now we will go to our reporters in the field, interviewing both views on the sequester and its effect.
Okay. Hello again. And as a Democrat, what is your point of view on the sequester that has taken place?
Believes that increasing taxes will help cut the deficit and help the economy. And because the Republicans do not agree that we should increase taxes and other issues, the sequester has taken place. The basic goal of our party is to strengthen out our weakened economy.
And as a Republican, what is your point of view on the sequester that has taken place?
As a Republican, we believe there are smarter ways to cut spending and grow the economy. To prevent the sequester, the President wanted to install tax increases. Well, Mr. President, you got your tax increases. Tax increases will not help the economy. The basic goals of our party are to cut the deficit, cut entitlement spending, protect defense spending, and possibly even increase it, simplify the tax code by taking out loopholes, and lower tax rates. Washington needs to take this problem seriously and find a solution to prevent bad economic effects in the future.
Thank you for your time, both of you guys, and now back to the studio.
The Budget Control Act is an important aspect in the sequester and was signed into effect by President Obama on August 2nd, 2011.
This was made to prevent the United States from being unable to pay back its debts to other countries.
This was our final option of proposals to resolve the 2011 United States debt ceiling crisis.
Now we will turn to a press conference in Washington, D.C. with Jacob Lew, the Secretary of the United States Treasury Department.
Ma'am, what are the future economic effects of the sequester?
In general, federal spending stimulates the economy and promotes job growth. So, a reduction in federal spending is negative for the economy, at least in the short term. Businesses and organizations that are especially affected by federal spending could be forced to lay off workers if sequestration remains in place. Each year, through the accumulation of deficits, the federal government adds to the total amount of debt that eventually must be paid back by future generations of American citizens. At present, the U.S. government currently has about $16.6 trillion in total debt. Most experts agree that the rate of growth in the total federal debt is unsustainable in the long run. Also, the government must pay interest on the money that has been borrowed. Thank you.
Has the President and Congress come up with a discretionary spending budget yet in the response to the sequester?
Well, as you know, discretionary spending is that part of the federal budget that is negotiated between the President and the Congress each year as part of the budget process. What this means is it includes everything that is not in the mandatory budget. Some programs include Social Security and Medicare. And due to the sequester, discretionary spending has triggered a $1.2 trillion cut that has taken place at the end of March. In 2012, the federal government spent $1.289 trillion on discretionary programs. President Obama's plan right now is to reduce discretionary spending to its lowest level. This means that Congress must pass another $1.5 trillion in deficit reduction, or trigger massive cuts to domestic and defense spending, providing an incentive for both sides to come together as one. Thank you.
What can be done and what could have been done to prevent the sequester?
The reason the sequester took effect is actually very simple. It is because the Democratic and Republican parties could not come to an agreement on how to reduce the deficit. It came into effect because Republicans wanted to cut spending and Democrats wanted to increase taxes. Each party didn't agree with the opposing opinion, thus resulting in the sequester.
goal outlined in the Budget Control Act of 2011 was to cut at least 1.5 trillion over the coming 10 years, therefore bypassing congressional debate and resulting in a passed bill on December 23, 2011. The goal outlined in the Budget Control Act of 2011 was to cut at least 1.5 trillion over the coming next 10 years, therefore bypassing congressional debate and resulting in a passed bill by December 23, 2011.
Good job.
So what is the debt ceiling?
The maximum amount of money the United States can borrow is what the debt ceiling is. The debt ceiling was created under the Second Liberty Bond Act of 1917, putting a ceiling on the amount of bonds the United States can issue. As the end of July 2011, the debt ceiling was set at $14.3 trillion, also known as the debt limit or statutory debt limit.
Thank you for watching Fox 12 News.
Stay classy, Evanston.